I'll give you a little introduction to CPT, Christian Peacemaker Teams, and then I want us to have a discussion, and we'll have plenty of time for questions, I hope, if I don't go on too long. Our work got started in the 80s. There was a movement to develop teams of peacemakers, nonviolent peacemakers, that would go into high conflict situations. And some of these dreams were very, very unrealistic. There were dreams of thousands and tens of thousands of people going into situations without training, but simply under the understanding that people of goodwill are going to do good things. We know that that is sometimes true, but it isn't always true. And so after refining this larger vision into a more practical thing, we were able in 1988 to begin forming, we began our staff work to form Christian Peacemaker Teams. And in brief, we have full-time workers and we have what we call reservists. And it's an outright borrowing from the military, reservists. And these are folks, both of whom are trained in a month-long training, and both of whom serve in the field, but full-time people for, of course, more longer periods, and part-time people for briefer periods. And the training, our kind of basic training, if you please, in CPT emphasizes the arts of entering a high-conflict situation and using what we would refer to as the arts of nonviolence. Of reducing violence, of getting sometimes in the face of violence, sometimes diffusing it. There are all sorts of things that can be done in specific situations. It also has to do with building team life. You know, us good people, we also have fights with each other. We don't always get along, right? Well, that's the way we are. I guess here you do. But anyway, so we have to kind of figure out some ways to get along with each other. In the field, usually our teams are 4, 5, 6, 7, and as high as 10 people sometimes. We also find ourselves everywhere we work, because it's a high conflict situation. We have to deal with issues of human rights. Now, we don't try to make ourselves into another Amnesty International or Human Rights Watch or the other specific groups that are available. But we train ourselves to interview people who have been the targets of some kind of abuse or imprisonment or what have you, and learn from them and try to get accurate stories. And we talk about a methodology so that when you're dealing with a number of people, you cross-reference and you attempt to get as nearly as possible the truth, and then we talk about what you do about it, and how the media and the internet and direct confrontation and a variety of things are needed to deal with specific situations. We are not always successful. We are not always successful. Sometimes we're successful, and then we also learn to encourage each other. We learn to have a little bit of worship time and pray together. And we also learn to have fun together, because it's really important to laugh once in a while when you're doing heavy stuff in high conflict situations. I think you all know that, don't you? Yeah, so that's another piece of our life.